Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Jess and I'm so glad that you guys are joining me because today we are going to be doing an update in my reading journal. I will admit I am super behind. I've been reading, but I just haven't been updating it. So that's what we are going to do today. For my new viewers, welcome. My returning viewers, welcome back. If you guys didn't know, I actually created my reading journal myself like 90% of the way. The covers and the discs come from Happy Planner. The cover page and then the perpetual calendar comes from Happy Planner. And then the monthly calendar that I'm using comes from Happy Planner. Everything else I created. So we have my book rating scale. We have my spice rating scale, which I admittedly don't really use. I just keep it in there because it's pretty. And then we start out with my yearly reading challenge, and that's where we're going to start with updating it. I also have all of my pens, my highlighters. I use the Mild Liner because I love that brand. It is by Zebra. I'm just pulling up Goodreads on my phone, so then that way I can be able to see what's going on and where I'm at. So for books, the total books that I have read this year so far is 22. I have an audiobook that I'm hoping to finish tonight, Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. It is fantastic. I love Lynn Painter so much. She is like so witty, and yeah, I just adore her. So, yeah, so I'm hoping to finish that. So here's my January wrap up. My book of the month was Butcher and Blackbird. And what I decided to do is I'm going to use this for like little notes. So what I did for this one is I put that it is part of a trilogy. I put when the second book comes out, and I put when the third book comes out. We go to the top book of 2024, which obviously was Butcher and Blackbird. And then we go to my calendar. So my calendar is what I am using to actually track like when I start a book, when I finish a book. And then if there's a book that I read all in one day, I'm doing that as well. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to set this aside for just a moment, just because it's a lot easier to kind of write things down when I am not, like when the paper's not on the discs. I also keep this little card so I can be able to mark off how many books that I've purchased, how many books that I've sold, how many books that I have dropped off in the little free library, if there's any books that I DNF, and then how many physical, audio, and Kindle. We're not going to talk about the fact that I have purchased 6 books this month. We're just not. So let's push that aside. Okay, so to start out, I have done some of them. So I'm kind of looking at, oh, and by the way, I do use Goodreads for tracking all of this. I also use Storygraph, but I will admit I am way behind on Storygraph, and part of my goal this week is to get Storygraph updated and then get into my normal habit of doing that. Okay, so Murder Road, Mother-Daughter Night, and yeah, so we started. So one of the books that I read is the book It's a Date Again. It is by Geneva Rose. I've actually already sold that book. Like, I placed it on Pango. I had to see when I started. I placed it on Pango like the day after I finished it. And I've already sold it, which I really appreciate that. And by the way, I will be linking my Pango down below. Basically, after I finish a book, I go ahead and put it up for sale. So then that way, like if it's a book that I'm not planning on saving, then I try to sell it. And I try to keep my books in really good condition. So then that way, when I do sell them, I know that I'm selling a book that like me as a person would want to get. What I'm basically doing now is I'm kind of just looking through my books on Goodreads, and I'm just kind of marking when I started them, when I finished them, so then that way it'll be really, really easy for me to fill it in. And I have one more to do, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and fill these in, and then after that I got to go to my books that I'm currently reading and fill in when I started those. For my reading journal, I use the Zebra Sarasa Mark-On. It is a 0.4. I really, really love this pen. And it's one of the few pens that you can be able to use and then immediately highlight over because it will not bleed. Obviously, it doesn't matter for this one because I highlighted before I wrote it, but that's okay. It's still the point. These are my absolute favorite pens. And I don't feel like I've read a ton this month, but considering that I'm up to 22 books and I did 13 in, let's see, I did 13 books in January. So, okay, I've read almost 10 books. I've read 9. Like I've actively finished 9 books. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I just realized I forgot to put in a blue on the 25th. So, I mean, 9 books for February. That's okay. I mean, this is not a competition. We're not like competing against each other to see who can read more. But I don't know what I was about to say. I also don't like when books are really, really long, because then I end up doing multiple lines. I see I have a few books that I'm kind of hoping that I can be able to finish this week, but we will see. All right, so now let me go to my books that I'm currently reading, and I can be able to mark when I started them. I've also noticed that I have not been doing a ton of audio. I think I've been doing music more than anything. And I think a lot of it is that, when I tend to get really stressed, I have a harder time focusing. And I think I just haven't been able to really focus on the books. Oh, I just realized I don't have one book on here. Okay, let me go. So I just realized that I have a book on my Kindle that I'm reading called The Breakup Vacation. And I just realized that I do not have it added as a book that I'm currently reading. So I started reading this one. I actually started reading like a different Kindle book, and then I kind of put it down to be able to do this one instead. I don't know, like I think I needed something that was just like a little bit more mindless, but I started reading at the 24th, so I'm going to fix that. I'm having trouble here. And then I'm actually going to take this one out of my currently reading. I'm going to move it to the want to read so I can properly update that. Perfect. And then all right, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so now that is all completely done. Now what I need to do is I need to update the audio. I have not DNF'd any books this month yet. So in terms of physical books, I have read Flirty Little Secret, It's a Date Again, Mother-Daughter Murder Night. So that is 3. I've read 3 physical. And then audio, I have done 1, 2, 3, 4 audio. And then Kindle has been 1, 2. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. I always like to kind of count, make sure that I just didn't end up missing a book. My Kindle, though, apparently has been, like, I feel like I think I'm just taking a lot longer to read through the Kindle. But I think it's just because of the fact that I've been reading more physical. Okay, so now my calendar's done. And we are going to move on to my books read shelf. So the books read shelf is where I basically highlight the book based on how I rated it. And then I write in the title. So this one, the way that I have it set up is I have I have one page, it's front and back, and then I have a partial page that is front and back as well. So if you're like looking at it, it looks like this first page has a header when really it doesn't. Okay, so I have already done some of these. What it looks like is I'm only missing 3. So that's actually really good. So we have a 5-star. And then we have 2 4-stars. Sometimes I feel like I rate books pretty highly. I don't know if that's really necessarily true or not, or maybe I just do a really good job at picking books that I absolutely love. So we have, let's go back to my point 4. So we have The Teacher. We have A Flirty Little Secret. And then The New Couple in 5B, which was a very enjoyable thriller. All right, so there we go. We're done with that one. I love like my little cards. They're just so handy for like notes and such. Okay, so then we have my monthly arcs, and this is basically where I highlight the book after I'm done reading it with the color that I rated it. So maybe I should go back here and remind myself. So this one, I think I only have 1 to mark off. So there we go. I don't think I've read anything else. I think that was it. And I have all of the books added there, already updated. Now, my A to Z challenge, I tend to add books that are 5-star. And here's my problem. There's a couple 5-star that I would like to add, but they start with the word the. So I'm going to wait on this one. I think a lot of it, I may wait until the very end of the year and then kind of decide, do I need to use any book titles that start with the word the. So then we come to my monthly TBR. I have 1 that I need to update. This is me forever going back and double checking that I'm coloring it in the right color, because this is what I use for, oops. There we go. I rate, this is like my TBR, and I like to color them in the color that I'm reading it. I'm also going to add one to March, the book Hurricane Wars. I was just talking with a book club and we were like, okay, we're going to plan on doing our discussion for that book like mid-March. So that's me putting it on there because I'm probably going to be starting it Friday. I think Friday's the 1st. And then we come to my monthly arc. Again, I only have one. And what I've been doing for this one is basically I will kind of tell myself, these are the arcs that I want to read this month. And I try to read them. If I don't read them this month, then I will move them to the next month. So of the 4 that I have, if I don't read them this month, then I will move them to March and then add on to March. I still have to do my 2024, my 24 books in 2024. My Create Your Own Bingo. This is a clear your shelf. So this is, I'm basically marking off any physical book that I read because physical books are actually on my shelves. So this I will do at the very end when I actually have the little pictures. Bookopoly is something that Plan with M and I are doing. And basically, I don't think that I have anything. I don't think that I have anything that I want to add to this. What I may do is I may kind of look back on like previous books that I've read this year and see if there's any that I can be able to update. All right, so we come to my book club reads. The only thing that I really want to update for this is just books that are coming up that I need to read. So my traveling book club for March, we are reading The Bodyguard by, who is it by? By Katherine Center. I do not know our Zoom date, so I will have to find that out. And I will have a picture that will need to be updated. Book club reads. So in March of 24, we have Hurricane Wars. So these are 2 books that I'm going to be reading for March. The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. I don't know. I am horrible with pronunciation. So, and I need to figure out our Zoom date. But then here's The Bodyguard by Katherine Center that I will be reading. And I'm going to be so excited to also be able to clear those off my shelf. Was just talking about this with them. I cannot remember what book that we're doing for March. And I'm actually thinking about skipping it, which our next book will be in May. So I'm fine with that. All right, now we have my genre in pixels. So this is basically, I color it in based on my color coding pixels. So let's go through. This is when I'm definitely going to be using my phone because I need to actually kind of check and see where I left off. So first one is a romance, thriller, mystery, romance. Okay, so I have 3 left to do. So we have one. So the next one is a thriller. We actually have 2 thrillers to color in. So I'm going to go ahead and do both of those. And then we have a romance. Yes, I do read mostly romance books. There's nothing wrong with that. I always suggest read what you enjoy. So time reading in pixels. Oh my goodness. I have not been keeping up with that. I'm going to worry about that later. Well, I can tell you that today, I'm going to go ahead and fill in for today because today I have been listening to an audiobook a lot and I fully intend on reading a ton later on tonight. I read a lot yesterday. I read a lot on the 24th. And then I read a lot on the 23rd. Okay, so I will have to go back and kind of figure out, oh crap, like how much time did I think I spent reading? All right, so daily reading in pixels. I have not read my physical book yet. I want to, but I'm going to wait until I actually read it. I have not read a Kindle yet, so I'm going to hold off on that. I have been doing an audiobook, so I'm going to go ahead and check off that. Boop, boop, boop. My low spend tracker. I did not buy any books today. And for March and April, I am setting some new rules because I've been really bad this month. All right, so now we come to this reading tracker. So this was basic. As you can tell, I like having a lot of reading trackers. So this one is one that I basically put in the format of the book that I read, the title, the author, and then the dates that I read it. So I have put up to it's a date again and the rule book, which basically means I only have 3 that I have to add. So that's fantastic. So we are going to do audio for the teacher. That is by Freida McFadden, which if you have not read Freida McFadden's books and you like thrillers, like really, really high anxiety inducing books, I highly recommend Freida McFadden. And by the way, any books that I recommend or I share with you, I will drop them in the description down below. But yeah, I adore her. And like I basically need to catch up on her books. So then that way, as soon as the next one drops, then I can start reading it. All right, then we have a physical, and this was Flirty Little Secret. This was by a new author. Let me grab the book. It's by, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right, Jessica Lepp. Oh, crud. I just totally typed that wrong. Let me try again. So Flirty Little Secret. I thought that this was a really good book. Loved the characters. This was one with the main character who has anxiety, depression, and ADHD. And I think one thing that I really, really love is I feel like with books like this, like the author is completely normalizing these mental health conditions and these, they're normalizing being a neurodivergent. And I feel like we need more and more books out there that have that purpose. Okay, and then the last one is the thriller, which was another audio. I love thrillers for my audiobooks. Like I said, like the whole anxiety inducing where it makes your heartbeat race. It's fantastic. And this one was by Lisa Unger, which I want to read more of her books. And this was $2.25. Okay, so this one I gave 4 stars. Moving on, my ARC tracker. I am basically, this one I think I just need to update a couple little things. And this is one that I like to also use to kind of like double check that I have left a review in Goodreads and such. And also NetGalley when it is a book from NetGalley. So yeah, so I do have some updating that I need to do, which will be done this week. I've got time. library holds. I actually want to update this one. I want to remove the rating and I want to do like a money saved. So I will be making updates to that. And then my books rating page. This is, I think, something else I need to keep up with. Basically, all I'm doing for this one is just including a little picture with the title, the author, the format, the dates, and then how I rated it. And I'm using this star washi from Archer and Olive. And I really, really love this. So what I've been doing for this one is I have been updating it. And then when I go to do the pictures, that's when I will print out the pictures. For this one, I'm using a Pilot G2 just because I love how juicy this pen is. Again, I only have 3 to do. So I am going to figure out where my washi starts. Here it is. This one. Okay, so actually, so this is also my chance because Goodreads doesn't let you do half stars. So this is also my chance to be able to kind of put when something is a half star. Okay, I need to just get rid of that. All right, so the first one is, I'm actually going to save that because this one right here, I need 4 and a half stars. One, 2, 3, 4 and a half. I love this washi so much. It's just so much fun. All right, let's go ahead. I guess maybe kind of clean up some of my stuff. So we have the teacher. I always spell her name wrong. I don't know why my brain cannot remember how to spell her name. And this was 217. This was one of the books that I was getting, like, I was driving at night to go pick my son up from work, and I was listening to it. No, sorry. The Murder Road by Simone St. James. I was driving at night to pick up my son from work, and the book was, like, seriously making me scared. It was just scaring me. I love these pens, but since they're so juicy, they take a while to dry. And then we have Flirty Little Secret. You guys may think that this is overkill, but I don't know. I absolutely love it. To me, I love being able to look through the books that I read in many different, like, look through like different ways that I'm kind of showing off how I read it. And I will put the stars in just a minute. And then the new couple in 5B. And audio. This was at 222 through 225. And then, okay, so both of those ones are 4 stars. So I need to go ahead and trim that off. All right, I'm just gonna trim off 2 4 stars. I wish that Archer and Olive sold this washi separately. This I got in one of their subscription boxes. I think it was their September subscription box last year, because it was like a vintage library. And I'm gonna be so sad when that washi's gone. Oh, I had a 4 star. Oh, crud. Okay, well, maybe I'll remember to use that next time. All right, so there we go. I am done. I think that that's dry enough. And I think that that is it. Yeah, because after the book rating page, which I'm going to need to print out a couple more of those. And this is all just like extra pages. So there we go. We are done. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you want to purchase these pages yourself, you can go to my Etsy shop. The link is down below. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thumbs up, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy the next video.